And tonight, the White House accusing Republicans of wanting to raise taxes on middle-class families. Our fact-check team joining us now with more on why these claims don't quite add up.
With the midterm elections right around the corner, Democrats and Republicans are going all in, criticizing the other side of the aisle in hopes of winning over key voters. Last week, President Biden tweeting this statement on your screen here, claiming that congressional Republicans want to raise taxes on middle-class families, vowing he will not let that happen. Our investigators tonight looking deeper into the president's claims, breaking down what's fact and what's fiction. For us, Connor and Janae joining me here. Janae, we start with you. Do Republicans really want to go out there and raise taxes?
So not all congressional Republicans. That's where the president got it wrong. So he was referring to Republican Senator Rick Scott of Florida and his 11-point plan to rescue America. Now, we dug through the document and found that the senator does call for all Americans paying income tax.
So are there any other Republicans on board with this plan?
Not really. In fact, Politico reports Senator Scott clashing with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and other Republican lawmakers over his plans. Now, we do want to mention that GOP Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel has praised Scott for his 11-point plan, but the Republican Party is not running on raising taxes on middle-class families.
Interesting. And Connor, you looked into the administration's response to all this. Are they now walking back the president's tweet?
Well, kind of. Just 5 days after the tweet, Press Secretary Jen Psaki did state the tax plan was led by Senator Rick Scott. But she did still say that under Scott's leadership, Republicans as a whole want to raise taxes on the middle class, which we know is not true.
Of course, when you ask any Republican, really, they're going to deny wanting to raise taxes on principle.
Yeah, that's right. It's a highly unpopular idea among the GOP and, more importantly, their voters. We usually see them work to lower taxes like they did in 2017 under President Trump with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Typically, it's Democrat leaders like Bernie Sanders who want to raise taxes on the wealthy.
Separating fact from fiction tonight, Connor and Janae, thank you. And we've seen the president himself propose a few tax increases. We will look more into his plan later on the Fact Check.
Well, tonight, President Biden is falsely pointing the finger at all congressional Republicans for wanting to raise taxes on the middle class, while at the same time planning to raise taxes himself. Our Fact Check team joining us now with how this impacts you and your family.
Last week, the White House using tax day to go after Senator Rick Scott and the Republican Party for raising taxes. But the president has a few higher tax proposals of his own. I'm here with the Fact Check team to break it all down for us. Connor, the president's plan, you've learned, focuses on raising taxes specifically on wealthier Americans.
Yeah, that's right, Ryan. His proposal would raise taxes on Americans earning $400,000 or more.
So how many taxpayers exactly fall into that group?
Well, the data is a little bit fuzzy on this, but according to the IRS, these Americans represent the top 1.8% of taxpayers.
And the president's plan also proposing a 7% increase to the corporate tax rate. How would this impact the American economy?
Well, it's a little bit unclear, but we could see businesses offset these higher taxes by reducing payments to shareholders, lowering wages, and increasing prices for consumers. A White House official said these tax spikes reverse President Trump's 2017 tax cuts, putting us closer to Obama-era tax rates.
And Janae, you spent the night reviewing other tax increases tied to the president's plan and how that's going to impact Americans.
Exactly. The billionaire minimum income tax. So the White House says this provision would ensure that the wealthiest Americans pay a tax rate of at least 20% on their full income. The White House released a report back in September showing that the wealthiest 400 billionaire families pay an average federal individual income tax of 8.2%. And they estimate that the tax would provide $361 billion in revenue over the next 10 years. But of course, Republicans are against these tax hikes.
And will this impact middle-class Americans at all?
Well, they say it won't. We looked through the 158-page budget, and we found that this tax reportedly will directly impact the top 0.01% of American households, meaning those worth over $100 million. According to CBS, that's about 30,000 families.
The Fact Check team will continue to follow developments on this and several other issues. You can also read this story with links to where they found all of their information tonight on our website, thenationaldesk.com.